Vishnum Gurudevo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Om Ganana Antva Ganapatigam Vamahe Kavim Kavinam Upavashravastramam Neshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspada Anushrinatibis Sadhanam Om Mahaganadipataye Namaha Hari Om Om Keshwaya Namaha Om Narayana Namaha Om Madhvaya Namaha Om Govindaya Namaha Om Vishnuve Namaha Madhusudhanaya Namaha Trivikramaya Namaha Vamanaya Namaha Sridharaya Namaha Rishikeshaya Namaha Padmanabhaya Namaha Damodaraya Namaha Sankarshnaya Namaha Vasudevaya Namaha Pradyumnaya Namaha Niruddhaya Namaha Purushottamaya Namaha Dokshaya Namaha Narasimhaya Namaha Achyutaya Namaha Janadraya Namaha Upendraya Namaha Hari Namaha Sri Krishna Namaha Sri Krishna Namaha Sri Krishna Shambhave Namaha Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagni Kalaya Kalagni Rudraya Neelakanthaya Mrutyunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Om Haim Rim Klim Chamundaya Vichai Om Haim Rim Klim Chamundaya Vichai Om Haim Rim Klim Chamundaya Vichai Hari Om. Dear devotees and friends, we were discussing with ritual of Shiva worship. On the request of the sages, Suta Maharshi describes about the methods of worshipping Shivalinga. He says one should construct a Shivalinga either of a mud, rock, or metal, and establish it in such a place where it can be worshipped daily without any hindrance. The mobile linga should be small in size, and Sthira linga is fixed and should be large. Sthira linga is fixed in the temple, it's the large one. The linga should be constructed along with the pedestal. The rule of constructing Shivalinga has been specifically described. The breadth of thickness of the linga should be 12 times the thickness of the devotees, one who is constructing the linga finger, while the length should be 25 times. After establishing the linga in the above mentioned way, it should be worshipped after performing the Shodashopachara Puja. Shodasha means 16. 16's way of worship is called Shodashopachara Puja. Om Namah Shivaya has to be chanted all the time continuously. Chanting this mantra for 5 crore times helps a man in attaining the abode of Shiva, according to our Guru. Worship of Shiva done during the midnight is considered to be especially fructifying. Sacred pilgrimages of Shiva. Few words. There are numerous places of pilgrimage connected with Shiva at the banks of the river Ganges and river Indus. River Saraswati is considered to be a sacrosanct river, and having an opportunity of living at its banks helps in attaining the abode of Brahma. Similarly, there are famous temples of Lord Shiva at Kashi, Naimisharanya, Badrikashrama, and Kedarnath. There are many temples of Shiva at the banks of the holy river like Ganges, Yamuna, Saraswati, Godavari, Narmada, Kaveri, Sarayu, Tungabhadra, Kaveri. Worshipping Shiva at these places bestows undiminishing virtues and liberates a man from all his sins. Conduct of the respective castes. On the request of the sages, Suta Maharshi is telling about the virtuous and invirtuous activities of a man according to the respective caste they belong. He said, a Brahmin who performs the rituals as described in the Vedas only is entitled to be called a Dvija. A Brahmin who is not that proficient in the Vedas is called Kshatriya Brahmin. A Brahmin engaged in agricultural activity and business is called Vaishya Brahmin. A Brahmin who is in the habit of condemning and criticizing others is called Shudra Brahmin. A Kshatriya who looks after the welfare of his subjects is called king. while the rest of them are known as simply Kshatriyas. A Kshatriya who indulges in business is called Vaishya Kshatriya. Similarly, Kshatriya who engages himself in the service of the three superior castes, Brahmin, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, is called Shudra Kshatriya. So, types of Dharma. Dharma is considered to be two types. Dharma performed by matter and materials, like Havan. Dharma performed indulging in physical activities is Karma Yoga. The performance of Yajna, etc., comes in the first category. That is, using a matter and materials, we are doing Yajna. Making pilgrimages of holy places comes in the second category. Performed indulging in physical activity. During making pilgrimages of holy places to see Shiva's temples comes in the second category, that is, indulging in physical activities. During the Satya Yuga, meditation was the way to attain self-knowledge. During the Treta Yuga, it was attained by penance. During the Dwapara Yuga, it was attained by performing yajna. While in the present era of Kali Yuga, idol worship is considered to be the means to achieve self-realization. Invirtuosity invites sorrow, while virtuosity bestows joy and happiness. The importance of Agni Yajna, that is Homa Havan, the sages then asked Suta Maharshi about this Agni Yajna, Brahma Yajna, and Guru Puja in order of importance. Suta Maharshi said to all the Sanakadis, performing Havan by offering a matter and materials into the sacred fire is called Agni Yajna. This ritual is especially meant for brahmachari celibates. Performing Havana during the evening time brings prosperity, while performing the Havana during the morning times gives a long life. Making service sacrifices to the deities during the daytime. Making the sacrifices to the deities during the daytime is called Deva Yajna. A Brahmin should perform Brahma Yajna with the help of study of the Vedas. First of all, Lord Shiva adopted an auspicious day for himself and named it Sunday. After that, he named 6 remaining days of the week and attributed them to the following deities. Monday is for Durga, Tuesday is Skanda, Wednesday is Vishnu, Thursday is Yama, Friday is Brahma, and Saturday is for Indra. Worshipping the deities on their respective days give peace, prosperity, and all kinds of accomplishments. Appropriate place and time of worship of Shiva. Importance of the place. In the Vidyeshwara Samhita of Shiva Purana, describing about the importance of place and time of worship of Shiva, says, worshipping Shiva at a pure place in a house gives appropriate fruits, while worship done in a cowshed gives virtue, which are 10 times more than the former one. The worshipping Shiva at the banks of the river gives 10 times more virtues than the second one. Worship of Shiva done either in the temple, under the basil plant, etc., or at the banks of Saptaganga gives 10 times more virtue than the third one. If Shiva is worshipped at the seashore than the fourth one, while worshipping Shiva on the peak of the mountain gives 10 times more virtue than the fifth one. But worship done with a fully concentrates mind gives the best fruits. So while doing worshipping Shiva, the mind has to concentrate on Shiva. Importance of time. During the Satya Yuga, performance of yajna and donations give complete results. During the Treta Yuga, it gave half, while in the present Kali Yuga, it gives 1/4 results. Virtuosity performed with a pure heart does not go in vain. The other auspicious days, in order of their increasing importance, are Surya Sankranti, Tula Sankranti, Mesha Sankranti, lunar eclipse, and solar eclipse, respectively, worshipping the idol of Shiva. It has been mentioned in the 16th chapter of Vidyeshwara Samhita that all the desires of a man are completely fulfilled. If he worship even an earthen idol of Shiva, for making an idol of Shiva, they should be acquired from the base of the river, pond, well, of any such other place. In this clay, fragrant powder and milk should be added to make it into a paste. After the constructing the idol is complete, it should be worshipped by all the 16 types of rituals of Shodashopachara Karma Puja. Shodashopachara Puja. If the Shivalinga is constructed by somebody else, then the three sera of the Naivedya should be offered to the deity, whereas if one himself has constructed the Shivalinga, then the 1/4 of the sera should be offered. If such an idol is worshipped for 1000 times, then it helps a devotee in attaining the Satyaloka. Performing Abhisheka of such an idol helps in self-purification. Offering fragrance gives virtues. Naivedya increases the lifespan. Worshipping it with dhupa gives wealth and prosperity respectively. Worshipping the idol with a burning lamp gives knowledge to the devotee, whereas offering a betel leaves gives splendors. A devotee who worships Lord Shiva in the Hindu month of Maghamasa and on Krishna Chaturdashi achieves longevity of life. Both worldly pleasures and salvation are achieved by worshipping Shiva. Worshipping Shiva in the Hindu month of Kartika Masa by chanting the japa, penance, etc., gives a special fruits and the devotee becomes free from all kinds of diseases. If a devotee worships Lord Shiva on Sunday, he becomes free from the rebirth. The majesty of Pranava Panchakshara, the root sounds of Akara, Bukara, Makara, Bindu and Nada, which are free from the delusions and which originates from the mother nature, are called Pranava. It is two types, gross, subtle Pranava mantra, Om and Om Namah Shivaya. It symbolizes the unified power of Shiva and Shakti and destroys all the sins of a man. A man desirous of worldly pleasures must chant the mantra Vishwa Pranava, containing the three roots of sounds A, U, and Ma, which symbolizes the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, respectively. On the other hand, a man aspiring for the salvation must chant the mantra Dirgha Pranava, containing A, U, Ma, Nada, Bindu. Before commencing the study of Vedas, pronouncing Omkara is a must. By chanting the Pranava for 9 crore times, man becomes pure. By chanting it for further 9 crore times, a man develops a control over natural forces like wind, smell, and earth, etc. The Pranava mantra is considered to be the most powerful and helps a man to attain abode of Shiva. Worldly bondages and salvation. In the 18th chapter, all the sages requested Sutta Maharshi to explain the meaning of bondages of life and salvation. Sutta Maharshi replied to all the sages in the Naimisharanya, because of the 8 types of bondages which a man feels on this earth, the soul is also known as a jiva. The jiva becomes liberated only after becoming free from these 8 bondages. It's very, very important. My guru was telling me the jiva becomes liberated only after becoming free from these 8 types of bondages. These 8 bondages are nature, intelligence, qualitative, ego, and the pancha tanmatras, that is, sound, touch, appearance, taste, and smell. Each soul is binded by these 8 aspects of nature. The actions performed as a result of these bandages is called karma. The actions performed as a result of these bondages is called karma. A man reaps the fruits of his actions, whether good or evil. He either enjoys pleasures or suffers because of sorrow due to this karma. The soul takes rebirth in a cyclic, was binded by the effects of his karmas. The 8 chakras are nothing but the 8 forms of the nature. Shiva is beyond the reach of these 8 chakras. On the contrary, he has full control these 8 chakras. So a man can become free from the bondages of this world only worshipping Shiva Linga. So a man can become free from the bondages of this world only by worshipping Shivalinga. The linga is both gross and as well as subtle. There are 5 types of linga on this earth. Swayambhu linga means the one linga came on its own. A person desirous of earthly pleasures should worship the gross Shivalinga, whereas one who is desirous of attaining salvation must worship the subtle Shivalinga. The worship of Parthivalinga. Suta Maharshi then explains the greatness of worshipping Parthivalinga. Parthivalinga is the most supreme among all the Shivalingas. All the aspirations of the deities as well as man are fulfilled by the worship of Parthivalinga. During the era of Satyayuga, jewel was considered to be prime importance, whereas during the Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, gold and mercury had the prime importance respectively. In the present era of Kali, a Parthivalinga holds this place of honor. The worship of Parthivalinga begets more virtues than even penance. Just as Ganga among the rivers, Kashi among the sacred places of pilgrimage, Omkar among all the mantras are considered to be superior. In the same way, Parthivalinga is considered to be the supreme among all the lingas. Worshipping a Parthivalinga with a Nishkama Bhava helps a man to attain liberation. Methods of worshipping of Parthivalinga elaborately describes about the methods of doing worship of Parthivalinga. After becoming fresh in the morning, a man should wear a Rudraksha garland in his neck and apply bhasma on his forehead. He should then worship the Parthivalinga. He should chant the various names of Shiva while worshipping the Parthivalinga like Hara, Maheshwara, Shambhu, Shulapani, Mahadeva, etc. Or you can chant Rudra, Chamaka mantras. After worshipping the Parthivalinga, it should be immersed in the river. Then the mantra Om Namah Shivaya should be chanted with complete devotion. This is the method by which has been described in the Vedas for the worship of Parthivalinga. Number of Parthiva Shivalingas. The numbers of Parthivalinga differ according to one's desires. For example, a man who is desirous of learning and knowledge must worship 1000 Parthivalinga. A man who is desirous of wealth must worship 1500 Parthivalingas. A man who is desirous of attaining salvation must worship 1 crore Parthivalinga. A man who desires of attaining salvation, Parthivalinga, which is equivalent to the height measured by the four fingers, and which has been established on the beautiful pedestal, is considered to be the best. Parthivalinga, which is the half of the above mentioned height, is considered to be medium, and still half than the second category is considered to be inferior Parthivalinga. It is better and advisable to worship a single Parthivalinga daily because it is equivalent to the worship of the whole world. Nobody is barred from the worshipping of Shiva except the people whose ancestors had been cursed by the sages like Danichi, Gautama. Such people should also worship the 8 idols earth, water, fire, air, sky, sun, moon, and host, along with the Parthivalinga. A Brahmin should worship Parthivalinga as per the method described in the Vedas. Worship should be done facing the north. Importance of Naivedya and Bilva leaves. Suta Maharshi then described about the importance of Naivedya offered to Lord Shiva. A devotee gets liberated from all of his sins merely at the sight of the Naivedya which have been offered to Lord Shiva. He attains great virtues by having the prasada. A man must not accept the prasada if the worship have been done under the supervision of a Chandala. But some of the Shivalingas like Bonlinga, Siddhalinga, Swayambhulinga are exceptions to this rule. The prasada which has been offered to Shivalinga and remains lying on it is prohibited from having, but the prasada which is not touching the Shivalinga should be accepted. Bilva, wood apple. Bilva fruit is considered to be a form of Lord Shiva's. Its greatness has been eulogized even by the deity himself. It is believed that all the places of pilgrimages dwell in the Bilva leaf. Lord Shiva is believed to have this abode in the roots of the bilva tree. A devotee who waters the roots of the bilva tree attains greater virtues than offering water to the deities of all the places of pilgrimage. Similarly, a devotee who worships the roots of the bilva tree attains to the abode of Lord Shiva. Similarly, a devotee who worships the roots of the bilva tree attains the abode of Lord Shiva. The majesty of Shiva's name, Sutta Maharshi, then goes on. He explained the greatness of Shiva's name and the importance of Bhasma. The name of Shiva is sacred as Ganga. Similarly, Bhasma and Rudraksha are also holy as river Yamuna and Saraswati respectively. Therefore, a devotee who possesses the name of Lord Shiva on his lips, who applies Bhasma on his forehead, center of the forehead, on his uh, person, and who wears Rudraksha in his neck, attain the virtues similar to that of taking a bath in Sangama. In the ancient time, a king by the name of Indradumna got liberated from the bondage of the world just by chanting the name of Shiva. The importance of Bhasma in Shiva's worship. Bhasma are two types, Mahabhasma and Swalpa Bhasma. Shrota, that is listener, smart, writes according to the Smritis, and Laukika, worldly, are considered to be the Mahabhasma. Shrota, smart, writes according to Smritis, and Laukika, worldly, are considered to be the Mahabhasma. There are many types of Swalpa Bhasma. Shrota and smart are meant only for the Brahmins. For the rest of the caste, Laukika Bhasma is appropriate. A Brahmin must apply Bhasma only after initiating it with mantras. The ashes which remains after burning dry cordon is called Agneya Bhasma. Applying Tripunda on the forehead with the ashes after the completion of Yajna is to the Upanishad rituals like Sandhya and Japa should only be performed after applying Tripunda on the forehead. Importance of Rudraksha. Rudraksha is very dear to Lord Shiva, and hence all the sins of a man get destroyed if he chants the name of Lord Shiva using the Rudraksha beads. He also attains salvation after his death. It is believed that the origin of Rudraksha is connected with the Shiva penance. Once, while Sadashiva was performing his penance, his eyes opened due to some disturbances. He was so remorseful that tears rolled down from his eyes. These teardrops are believed to be the origin of Rudraksha trees. Rudraksha of specific colors have been prescribed for different castes. For example, a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, and a Shudra have been instructed to put on Rudraksha of white color, red color, yellow color, and black color, respectively. So the Brahmins to wear Rudraksha of white color, Kshatriya used a red color, Vaishya should be using a yellow color, and Shudra using a black color, respectively. A person wears 1100 Rudraksha on his body, he unites with Shiva. Rudrakshas are various types. Ekamukha Rudraksha, one opening to the Rudraksha with 14 openings. Each type of Rudraksha has specific mantra and specific deity connected with it. Rudra Samhita, this chapter contains 149 sections. Srishti Khanda, the sages express their desire of knowing about the manifestation of Shiva and Uma, their marriage and their life as a householder, and the other aspects of Shiva's divinity. Sutta Maharshi narrated the story of Narada's attachment and lust, how they were ultimately destroyed. He also narrated Narada's deep desire to know about Shiva. Victory of Narada over Kama. Once upon a time, a Narada was performing a penance in the cave of Himalayas mountain. Indra, becoming fearful, sent Kamadeva to obstruct his penance. But Kamadeva was unsuccessful in his attempt, as the place where Narada was doing penance was the same place where Lord Shiva did penance. After the completion of his penance, Narada became arrogant that he had defeated Kamadeva. He went to Kailash mountain and narrated about his feat to Lord Shiva. Narada was naive not to realize the fact that it happened only because of the divine power of Shiva. Lord Shiva listened to his arrogant statement. He advised Narada not to reveal this secret to anybody. But Narada went to Brahmaloka and boasted about his feat of Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma listened to his boisterous statement and advised him not to reveal this to anybody. But Narada was not satisfied. He wanted to give the news of his achievement to Lord Vishnu also. So he went to Lord Vishnu's abode and boasted about his feat of defeating Kamadeva. Lord Vishnu, with a desire to subdue his inflated ego, manifested his illusionary power with blessings of Lord Shiva. Narada's ego subdued. While Narada was returning from Vaikuntha he saw a beautiful city. This city was ruled by a king named Shilanidhi. The king had a daughter, and her Swayamvara was being organized. Numerous kings had arrived to take part in that Swayamvara. Narada curiously entered the palace where Swayamvara was being held. The king requested Narada to study the lines of the palm of the princess. Narada was infatuated by the princess' beauty. He returned back to Lord Vishnu and expressed his desire of marrying that princess. He also requested Vishnuji to make him as handsome as himself. Lord Vishnu made Narada's whole body very beautiful except his face, which he made like a monkey. Narada, being unaware of this, happily went back to Swayamvara site. Narada sat among the kings, his face resembling like a monkey. Lord Vishnu too was present there. The princess saw Narada, whose face was looking like a monkey. She was amused. Ultimately, she put a garland around the neck of Lord Vishnu and went to Vaikuntha along with him. Some of the Shiva's Gana too were present there in the guise of a Brahmin. Their names were Marudganas. When they saw Narada to see the reflection of his face in the water, when Narada saw his face in the water, he saw he was looking like a monkey. He became very furious and cursed the Marudganas to be born as demons, even though being Brahmins by birth. Furious Narada then went to Lord Vishnu and cursed him. You too would suffer due to separation from your wife during your incarnation of Rama, and the monkey would come to your help. Vishnu preaches Narada. Lord Vishnu accepted Narada's curse without any hesitation. He then removed the illusionary powers by which Narada's mind was influenced. Now Narada regretted his actions. Lord Vishnu told Narada that everything is happened because of, of Shiva's divine illusions. You did not pay heed to his advice, and hence Shiva, by his illusions, has taught you lesson. Shiva is beyond the reach of the three basic qualities of Sattva, Rajo, Tamas, Guna. Therefore, you must worship and contemplate on the name of Shiva. All of your sins will be destroyed. After preaching Narada, Lord Vishnu vanished from his sight. Narada then descended down to the earth, and while having darshan of numerous Shivalingas, he saw two of the Mradganas whom he had cursed. He told both of them that they would take birth from giantess womb, giantess's womb, but their father would be sages. He also told them that they would become very famous due to their devotion. Narada went to the Lord Brahma and requested him to tell about the divinity of the Shiva. Brahmaji preaches Narada. On Narada's request, Brahma said, during the period of Mahapralaya, final annihilation, nothing exists except Shiva. The power of which Shiva manifested from his own self came to be known as Ambika. This Ambika is understood to be the cause of the whole world as well as the nature. Lord Shiva then created Shivaloka, which is known as Kashi. It is the abode of Shiva and Parvati. A man who makes the pilgrimages of Kashi attains salvation. The origin of Vishnu. Lord Shiva felt the need of somebody who could look after the creation in his absence. He wanted to retire along with the Ambika at Kashi. The unified energy of Shiva and Ambika resulted into radiant physical form of a child This child asked Shiva about his name and purpose of his being. Lord Shiva named this child as Vishnu and advised him to do penance, which would help him to attain all kinds of accomplishment. He then offered him the knowledge of Vedas through his breath. For this reason, it has been said, Yashya Nishwastama Vedaha, meaning whose exiled air is Veda. Vishnu followed the instruction of Shiva and did a tremendous penance for 12 years, but still he was not successful in having darshan of Lord Shiva for the second time. He became worried. He heard a heavenly voice instructing him to do further penance. Vishnu then recommenced his penance. It continued for many days. By the blessing of Shiva, numerous fountains of streams erupted from his body, which spread in all directions in the form of Brahma. Vishnuji was very pleased to see that stream. He went to sleep in that stream, due to which he also came to be known as Narayana, one who has his abode in the water. After that, all the five elements manifested from his self. The three qualities of Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamasaguna, as well as the ego, manifested from his body. Similarly, five Tanmatras, subtle form of matter, Panchabhuta, sky, water, air, fire, and earth, and ultimately five senses, organs, and five organs of action, also manifested from. Altogether, 24 types of element manifested from the body of Sri Vishnu, origin of Brahmaji. Brahmaji told Narada, while Vishnuji was sleeping in the water, a lotus flower manifested from the navel of Vishnu. According to the wish of Shiva, on that lotus was seated with four heads. I did not see anything except that lotus flower. I had a desire to know about my identity, so I entered into the hollow tubular stalk, that lotus flower, but I was not able to find the source. I returned back to the same place. Suddenly I heard a voice which instructed me to do penance. I did a I did a tremendous penance for 12 years with a desire to know about my Creator. Being pleased with me, Lord Vishnu manifested himself before him, before me, within this Chaturbuja form, but I could not identify him. Being influenced by the illusionary power of Shiva, I quarreled with him. Dispute between Brahmaji and Vishnuji. I asked him as to who he was. Vishnuji replied that he was the fulfiller of all his desires, but I replied to him that I only as the creator, nurturer, and the supreme soul of the world. Vishnuji became angry and said that undoubtedly I, Brahma, was the creator of the world, but he, the Vishnu, was the one who had created the Brahma and the whole world. Vishnuji also ordered me to take his refuge and promised to protect me, but being an ignorant, I did not believe him. A fierce battle was fought between both of us. Shivalinga manifested between us to end the battle. We requested that Shivalinga to show its real identity, that Shivalinga had destroyed our pride. Shabda Brahma. We heard sound Om. We became curious to know the origin of that sound. Vishnuji saw a letter A towards the south of that Shivalinga. He also saw the letters U and Ma centered towards the north of the Shivalinga, and in its center respectively. He also saw the mantra Om, which was dazzling like a sun. There was no beginning and end of this mantra. As we were making efforts to know about its origin, suddenly Shiva appeared in the form of a sage. He gave us a knowledge regarding Om. He also revealed to us that I originated from the letter A, Vishnuji originated from the letter U, and Shiva himself originated from the letter M. The letter A signifies creation, U signifies nurturement, and M signifies the salvation. The three letters A, U, Ma also symbolizes the basic causes of creation Here or Brahma also symbolizes the semen. U or Vishnu symbolizes the vagina, and the sound of Om is Maheshwara. The combined sound of A, O, Ma, all the three united form, which manifested a golden egg. This golden egg remained submerged in the water for 1,000 years. The Almighty then cut that egg into two halves, from which appeared heaven and earth. We also saw the divine beauty of Maheshwara. Shabda Brahma Thanu. Then we saw all the vowels and consonants emanating from the physic of Mahadeva. Vishnuji saw the 48 letters with Omkara, which in fact were the two following mantras. Tatpurushaaya vidmahe Mahadevaya dhimahi tanno rudra prachodayat, and Tatsaviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yona prachodayat. After that, we also received the Mahamrityunjaya mantras like Om Jum Sa, Om Hrim Jom Saha, and Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Bandhanat Mrityo Mukshiyamamritat. Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Bandhanat Mrityo Mukshiyamamritat. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mayamma Megham Prayacha Swaha. A last we received the great mantra Tattvamasi. Vishnuji was so enchanted by this mantra that he started chanting this mantra. We then prayed to Shiva, the creator, the nurturer, and the destroyer. Shiva enlightens Brahma and Vishnu. Shiva became very pleased with both of us. He preached us the contents of Veda. Shiva told Vishnuji about the methods by which his Shiva's worship could be done. He revealed to us that Vishnuji actually had manifested from the left portion of his Shiva's body and myself from the right portion of his body. He also blessed us that he would manifest his incarnation of Rudra from our body, and also that the purpose of this incarnation would be to do in annihilation. Lord Shiva revealed to us that his consort Uma was in fact Mother Nature, and her power in the incarnation of Saraswati would be my consort. Lakshmi, who would also manifest from the nature, would be consort of Vishnu. Brahmaji told Narada, age of Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra. Lord Shiva informed us that my day consists of 4,000 eras, and similarly, my night too consists of 4,000 eras. Since a month consists of 30 days and a year consists of 12 months, in this way my age was fixed. In this way, my age was fixed to be of 100 years. One day Vishnu is equivalent to 1 year of Brahma. Vishnu's age too was fixed to be of 100 years. The day of Rudra is equivalent to 1 year of Vishnu. On the request of the sages, Sutaji retold the preaching which had been narrated from Brahmaji to Narada, describing the method of worship of Shiva. A devotee should get up in the morning, contemplate on Shiva, who gives benediction. After that, he should finish his daily routine work and perform rituals like Sandhya and Vandana, etc. After that, he should worship Shivalinga according to Vedic rites like Panchopachara, Shodashopachara, etc. He should also perform Abhisheka with various offerings. At last, they should beg pardon for his sins, acquiring Shivalingas by the deity. Trambakam yajamahe sugandham pushtivardhanam उर्वारुकमिव मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् नमोऽस्तानन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षरपाशासुनाम्ने पुरुषाश्रते सहस्रकोटिपदारणे नमः सहस्रकोटिपदारणे नमः आकाशात् परितं यथासागर सर्वदेव नमस्कारः श्रीकेशं प्रयत्यो नमः सर्ववेदेशत्पुण्यं सर्वतीर्थेषु यत्फलं तत्फलं कुर्वाप्तिवासनात् वासुदेवस्य वासन्ते जयत्रयं सर्वभूतनिवासं कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्धात्मना वा पुरते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय समर्पयामि। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे। We will next session will continue Shivalingas by deity.